Šokci are an ethnographic group of South Slavs mainly identified as Croats. They are not considered a separate ethnicity in Croatia and elsewhere, while in Serbia they are recorded as an ethnic group in censuses per self-declaration. They live in various settlements along the Danube and Sava rivers in the historic regions of Slavonia, Baranya, Syrmia and western Bačka. These regions today span eastern Croatia, southeastern Hungary, and northern Serbia. Šokci are considered natives in Slavonia and Syrmia in Croatia. Population: Šokci are considered to be a native population of Slavonia and Syrmia in Croatia. The Croatian Bureau of Statistics does not record the Šokci as a separate narodnost. According to the 2011 census in Serbia, 607 people declared as ethnic Šokci. Outside of Slavonia and Syrmia, they live in the settlements of Bački Monosta, Sonta, Sombor, Bački Breg in Bačka, Serbia, and Herceg-Zanto in Hungary. Ethnonym: there are several hypotheses on the origin of the name Šokci. Serbo-Croatian word skok or uskok, derived from the Catholics who abandoned the Orthodox Church. Folk etymology derives it from saka, from the way they make the sign of the cross, different from the other Catholics who sign with an open hand. Italian word sciocco, v. Scarrick theorized that it was derived from German der Sascha. F. Kludge derived it from German Schock, a detachment of 60 men, which was the size of historical border patrols on the Sava. Matija Peter Katancic, the first to theorize on the name, connected the ethnonym with the toponym of Sucia Sucus in Thrace, found in the work of Ammianus Marcellinus. Eastern Slavonia and western Syrmia in Croatia is often referred to as Šokadia, although the term is not geographically limited. It is rather a general moniker for the Šokak ancestral land. Origin: the origin of Šokci people is not completely clear. The prevalent opinion of modern scholars, based on etymology, is that they were Catholics who moved from the south across the Sava from Bosnia. By the end of the Ottoman Wars in Europe, as the Ottomans were retreating, the Šokci in Baranya were considered to be descendants of settlers from a mass migration of Croats from an area near Srebrenica, Bosnia into the region after the Ottoman retreat in the 18th century. Regardless of when exactly they settled there, Šokci are considered to be an indigenous Croatian population of Slavonia and Vojvodina, which distinguishes them from the majority of the present-day population of these regions who are descendants of later settlers. The feeling of being indigenous rather than a settler is an important characteristic of the population. The Serbian Orthodox Church historically regarded the population as Serbs of Roman Catholic faith. History: 17th century. The earliest known Ottoman Turkish text that mentions the Šokci dates from 1615, a ferman by Sultan Ahmed I, dated Safa 9, 1024 according to the Islamic calendar, in which he referred to them as the population of the Latin faith, whose religion is completely different from the faith of the Serbs, Greeks and Vlachs. They are also mentioned in the documents of the Roman Catholic Church, where they requested Jeronim Lucic to become the Bishop of Bosnia and Slavonia in 1635, and in one writing from the time when Eugene of Savoy invaded Ottoman territory down to Sarajevo in 1697. 18th century. In the 1702 census of Thakovo, one of the cities that was retaken from the Ottoman Empire following the Treaty of Karlowitz, there were 500 to 600 inhabitants described as Catholic Slav, Slavonian. Tadeusz Misiklas later republished the same census and used the terms Slavinci and or Šokci, and claimed 400 inhabitants. According to the contemporary Anton Kanaslik, the term Šokci was a slang reference to Catholic Slavonians that was used by the Orthodox. According to the Austrian census in Bačka from 1715, Serbs, Bunjevci, and Šokci comprised 97.6% of population. The 1720 census in Bačka recorded 72% Serbs and 22% Bunjevci and Šokci. After the Treaty of Passarowitz, the first Habsburg census recorded in Banat about 20,000 citizens, mostly Serbs. 19th century. In the old Austro-Hungarian censuses there was large number of Šokci, both in Croatia, Slavonia and in Vojvodina. According to the 1840 data, the population of Croatia and Slavonia numbered 1,605,730 people, of which 777,880 were Croats, 504,179 Serbs, and 297,747 Šokci. The Šokci were concentrated in the Požega, Virovitica and Syrmia counties, and in the Slavonian military frontier. 20th century. According to the 1910 census in Austria-Hungary, there were 88,209 Bunjevci and Šokci in the Hungarian part, contemporary Šokci living in Croatia and Hungary, as well as many of those living in Serbia. Today usually consider themselves to be a subgroup of Croats. In Serbia, Šokci and Bunjevci have been recorded as a separate modality, or national or ethnic affiliation by the National Census in 1991 and 2002. Unlike Bunjevci, the other Catholic Slavic group from the same area, Šokci mostly declare themselves as Croats rather than the separate group, and some have also declared themselves Yugoslavs in the census. In the 1991 census, there were 1,922 declared Šokci in what has later become Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, and a much larger number of Croats. The population that declared Šokci as an ethnicity in the 2002 census is small and appears in summary lists under Other, while there were over 70,000 declared Croats. The choice of ethnicity between Šokac and Croat that is promoted in Serbia is described by scholars in Croatia as bizarre and harmful, because it exacerbates the Šokac myths of independence and antiquity, puts them into the realm of political folklore and helps provoke various 19th-century conflicts between the Croats and the Serbs. In general, the number and the percentage of the Šokci has decreased because of an unwritten policy that each family should have only one child, because they did not wish to divide their estate and other riches in each following generation. Unfortunately, such a practice worked up until the 19th-20th century, at which point they were practically overwhelmed in number by the immigrants, which had a much larger reproduction rate. Villages with numerous Šokac population in the region of Bačka, Sonta, Bački Breg and Bački Monosta. In 2002 census in Serbia, most of the inhabitants of these villages declared themselves as Croats. Most of the Hungarian Šokci live in the Baranya region, particularly in the town of Mohacs. Religion. The Šokci are Roman Catholic by faith and follow the Latin Rite. Language. The Šokci speak an Old Shtokavian Slavonian subdialect that is almost exclusively spoken by Šokci and closely related to Bunjevac dialect. The Slavonian dialect has a mixed Akavian and Ekavian accent. Akavian is predominant in Posavina, Baranya, Bačka and in the Slavonian subdialect enclave of Deventer, and Ekavian in Podravina. There are also enclaves of one accent in the territory of the other, and also of mixed Ekavian and Jekavian accents. In some villages in Hungary, the original Slavic yat sound is preserved. Culture. Traditions. Many of the traditions of the Šokci are influenced by their environment. They live in the fertile Pannonian plain where they cultivate grains and corn in large fields surrounding the villages. The villages often have one main street where each subsequent family house has auxiliary buildings and a spacious yard, as well as a water well. The central street is surrounded on both sides by water channels, which have small crossings in order for one to reach the house. Families often keep poultry, particularly ducks and geese, although the main source of meat are the pigs, which are almost inevitably kept by a Šokak. They enjoy pork-based products such as ham, sausages and bacon. These products are customarily obtained by the traditional autumn slaughtering. The most common fruit are plums, not least because it is often fermented into liquor called rakia. The abundance in which they have traditionally lived has made the Šokci a naturally merry people who pay a lot of attention to folklore. Each Šokak village inevitably has a cultural society where they cultivate the folk songs and dances. A popular folk custom is the Bekarak. They also hold a yearly festivity called the Šokakosijelo, held over a 9-day period in February, being the largest traditional event in the area of Posavina near Županja, featuring local culture and traditions. Music. The most recognizable feature of Šokci culture is the music, which is played mostly on the tambura instrument. Many tambura bands achieved nationwide fame in Croatia. The body of the tambura was traditionally made of the wood of maple, poplar or plum trees, while today it's mostly made of spruce or fir trees. Another instruments used in the past was the bagpipe. The traditional wedding festivities are paid much attention to, sometimes even catching the attention of entire villages. Folk costumes. The traditional outfit of the Šokci, called the rubina, is made of white linen cloth with lace decorations, and the main part of it is a blouse called oplekaki krila. The women mostly wear the entire outfit only in the summer, replacing it with a wool skirt in the winter. The most esteemed decoration of a Šokak outfit are the gold coins known as ducati. A rich Šokak girl would have a large number of ducati weaved onto her chest, not only as a decoration but as a clear sign that she comes from a wealthy family. Prominent individuals. Josip Šokčević, Croatian band, born in Vinkovci. Maras Velgamasek, Croatian writer. Matija Anton Rilković, Croatian writer, born in Davor. Julijana Matanović, Croatian writer. Josip Kozarak, Croatian writer, born in Vinkovci. Ivan Kozarak, Croatian writer, born in Vinkovci. Ilija Okrujic, Croatian writer, born in Sremski Karlovci. Martin Novoselic, Croatian football player and coach, born in Vinkovci. Ivica Oelici, Croatian professional footballer, born in Davor. Ivan Rakitic, Croatian professional footballer, father from Sikarevci. Goran Vlahović, Croatian professional footballer, born in Nova Gradiška. Fabijan Sovagović, Croatian actor, born in Ladimirevci. Florian Albert, Hungarian football player, European Footballer of the Year in 1967, born in Herceg-Santo. Mario Mandzukic, Croatian professional footballer, born in Slavonski Brod. Gallery.